Bismillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Rabbi yassir wa la tu'assir wa tammim bil khair. So, inshallah, today is our last lesson for Ajwaf. And in Ajwaf, we have discussed the changes that take place in the past. And we have also discussed the changes or discussed about the changes that take place in the present, yani al-madi wal-mudari. And yesterday, I gave you an idea about the changes that take place in ismul fa'il. And what is the change that takes place in ismul fa'il? The first thing that you need to remember that it comes on the pattern of fa'ilun. So al-kalimatul ayn changes into hamza. So instead of fa'ilun, it becomes fa'ilun. And this is for both for ajwaf wawi and ajwaf ya'i. When we talk about the doer or the ismul fa'il, in both aynul kalima changes into kasra. So fa'ilun, which is the standard form of ismul fa'il, the doer, it changes into fa'ilun. And if we look at the root letters, the original root letters for qawilun, this is qawilun, and now we can see here that this waw has changed into kasra and it becomes hamza maksura, it becomes qailun. And similarly ba'i'un, as we know that here ya is the root letter and it also changes into hamza maksura, so it becomes ba'i'un. So qailun and ba'i'un. So for both ajwaf wawi and ajwaf ya'i, the doer will be always on the pattern of fa'ilun, fa'ilun, okay? And we did some examples yesterday. For example, from qama, it is qa'imun. From sama, it is sa'imun. Okay, from qama, qa'imun for the masculine, and what will be for the feminine?
Qaimatun.
Qa'imatun, excellent. And then we from sama we have sa'imun, and the feminine will be sa'imatun, right? And also don't be just content with only with the first form. We have qa'imun, then the dual will be qa'imani, and the plural will be qa'imuna. So try to make all the 6 forms, 3 forms of the masculine, and then 3 forms of the feminine. Qa'imatun, qa'imatani, and qa'imatun. Similarly, we have sa'imun, sa'imani, sa'imuna, and for the feminine it will be sa'imatun, sa'imatani, and sa'imatun. Okay, what about Asha? Yes?
Aishatun.
Aishun, and for the masculine first, Aishun, and then we have Aishani and Aishuna, okay? And for the feminine, it will be Aishatun, Aishatani, and Aishuna, okay? Then we have Khafa, and from Khafa we have Khaifun, and the dual will be Khaifani, and the plural will be Khaifuna. And for the feminine, it will be Khaifatun, Khaifatani, and Khaifatun. And here we have Ja'in, as if you remember yesterday, that this one is not on the same pattern. When we have the Hamza as one of the root letters, and when the Hamza comes as the last root letter, or when it happens to be Ainul Kalima, then it transfers or it changes into Ja'in, and for the feminine it will be Ja, yes, Ja'i'atun, right? Ja'i'atun, and then for the Sha'in, and it will be Sha'i'atun, because we know that what's that? At-ta al-marbuta, it always requires that there must be a fatha before it. Ta al-marbuta never ever comes before fatha. It never takes kasra or dhamma before it. It always takes fatha before it. Okay, so this is clear now.
Repeat this one, ja, sir, one more time.
It will be ja'in for the masculine, and for the feminine, it will be ja'i'atun. Let me write it down. It will be, we have ja, and then what happens here, you will see that we will write Hamza in a different way, ja, and then we will write like this, and then we put fatha on it. First we put kasra on it. Whose font is this? And then we put ta marbuta. So it shouldn't be like this. It should be like this. Ja'atun. Yeah, because we know that for the feminine, so for the ta marbuta, we cannot put, what do we say, kasra before this. So it will be ja'atun, ja'atani, and ja'atun. And similarly, the same goes for the sha'in and sha'atun. And have you heard the word sha'i'un? Sha'i'un is something that is very famous. And if you have heard the word sha'i'atun, the word sha'i'atun is used for the rumors.
Where did we, sir?
Sorry?
Where it's very famous, Ustad?
Sha'i'un, the word sha'i'un, when we say that there's someone very famous, we say sha.
Okay, Shayan. Okay.
Yes, it's
When
very
it means
the word
famous,
for
and
someone.
the Shah
Yeah,
also means he wants all of it.
yeah, it's used for if it comes with ta marbuta, then sha'i'atun is also used for rumors. So sha'i'un means famous, and if you add ta marbuta to that, sha'i'atun, then it also means rumor, and sha'i'atun will be rumors. For the ismul fa'il and ismul maf'ul, for sha'in and ja'in is very uncommon. In fact, it's not used at all, and it hasn't been used in the Quran. But there are different ways or different contexts as it is used. So as I said, if you use it as sha'i'un, it means famous. And when you change into sha'i'atun, then it becomes rumor, and sha'i'atun will be rumors. Okay, shall we move on to ismul maf'ul?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now ismul maf'ul, the object or the ismul maf'ul in ajwaf wawi comes on the pattern of maf'ulun. It comes on the pattern of maf'ulun. So what happened over there? The ain has been dropped. It's basically maf'ulun. But when we talk about ajwaf wawi, then the ainul kalima gets dropped. And first, as I told you, we look at the easy way, and then we look at how it took place. So first we look at the easy way. So from qala, it will be maqulun. From qala, it will be maqulun. Why it will be maqulun? Because as I told you, it will be on the pattern of mafulun. Qama will be maqumun, and sama will be masumun. Okay, sama will be masumun. Okay, now how it changes, or how or why it has changed into maf'ulun, we can see that, and that's not difficult to understand. That's easier. It's, as you can see here, basically it's maf'ulun. It is maf'ulun, right? The standard sign, the standard pattern is maf'ulun. So it should be maqwulun. It should be what? Maqwulun. As we can see here, maf'ulun has 5 letters, and maqwulun also has 5 letters. But as we always know that when the root letters, or especially the weak root letters, come together, then some changes take place. Okay, now if you remember the rule of the changes that we have discussed before, if waw has dhamma and the harf before is sakin,
It will
then
transfer its dhamma to it.
it will transfer
The
dhamma
sound letter.
to the one that is sound letter. Okay, so it becomes maqu, and then we have another waw. So we have iltiqa sakinain now, right? So when we have iltiqa sakinain, then we know that the one of the weak letters has to be dropped. Now here we have 2 weak letters. Which one has to be dropped?
It can be, but usually they say they should not drop the. Yeah, there's some
One is from the root
opinion of
words
top.
and
There are two
What?
different opinions, no, Ustad. There are two different opinions in this.
Lala, there is only one opinion, and that is a very strong opinion.
the root
Note
word,
here
the weak letter of the root word should be dropped.
excellent, yeah, perfect. Because the one that is the part of the construction that is standard and that is fixed. So the one that is the part of the construction will not be dropped, whether it is root letter or not, as we can see here. So maf'ulun is a complete construction, and we know that any verb that comes on the pattern of maf'ulun, so this is a set pattern. So that's why here waw is the part of the construction. However, here this waw is the part of the root letter. So any weak verb, which is the part of the root letter, that has to be dropped. So here we have two, both of them, we have waw and, but what we have to do, we will drop the one that is the part of the root letter, and that is, as you remember, it is qawala. So we have to drop this one. So it becomes maqulun, as you see here. So it becomes maqulun as it is over there. So that is the only change that takes place over there. We have already discussed about the change, if you remember, that when waw has dhamma and the harf before it is sakin, then it transfers its dhamma to that harf. Okay, that's number one, change number one. And number two, as we can see here, now we have iltiqa sakinain, and we have two letters, and they are of the same root, yani they are of the same origin, I should say. But the root letter waw is basically the part of the root letter, and the one that is the part of the root letter has to be dropped. So then it becomes maqulun, because we have to drop this one, as this is the part of the root letter. Okay, so
I did in one of the surf books that there's difference of opinion in either ways, but as you said, the strongest opinion is this one. But they said both the opinions, Ustad. That
okay, there is a possibility, and as you said, like there are many, and these changes are basically these changes, and these all of these interpretations have been like evolved only for the purpose of understanding, because the Arabs, they don't need them. They know like how to use it. So Ahl al-Lugha, they don't need it. It's for us. So whatever is convenient for us, we can take that. And it makes sense, yani. We have to drop one of them, either of them. But inshallah, when we go to the next one, naqis, then it will be, the stronger opinion will be that we have to drop the one that is the part of the root letter. And it will be confirmed over there.
Okay, Ustad.
All right, so now you know why it has become maqulun, and why qama has become maqumun, and sama has become masumun. So this is the reason why it has changed. So I have given you two options. Option number one, you just memorize the pattern, and the pattern is mafulun. So any verb that comes on that pattern, you know that it will follow that pattern, and that's it. You can straight away make it. But if you're interested and if you want to know more, like how and why it's changed, then these are the reasons that why and how it has changed from maqbulun to maqulun. Okay, so is this clear? This is for ajwaf wawi. Now the thing is, for example, ismul fa'il for both of them is the same. Ismul fa'il is on the pattern of fa'ilun for ajwaf wawi and ajwaf ya'i. However, for ismul maf'ul, for ajwaf wawi, it is different, and for ajwaf ya'i, it is different. So for ismul maf'ul, for ajwaf wawi, should be clear now that it comes on the pattern of maf'ulun. And for ajwaf ya'i, it comes on the pattern of mafilun. What is the pattern? Mafilun. It comes on the pattern of mafilun. So there are only two, don't worry a lot. There's just two patterns you need to memorize. For ajwaf wawi, it comes on the pattern of mafulun, and for ajwaf ya'i, it comes on the pattern of mafilun. So if we look at that pattern, you can see here, ba'a, and it's on the pattern of mabi'un, the same as mafilun. So mabi'un, zada, mazidun, and asha, ma'ishun. Okay, so these are the patterns for ismul maf'ul. For hal min mazid being used in the Quran, it's used a lot in the Quran. Mabiyun is used in everyday life, especially if you live in the Gulf countries. They say akthar mabiyat, yani the products that are sold or that are being sold the most. So mabiyun, something that is being sold. Mazidun, something that is being added. And ma'ishun, something or place where we live. So that is ma'ishun. All right, so now we have to see, I want to show you the changes, how the changes have taken place. And so that at least one time, this is my obligation, I believe, that I should make it clear to you. After that, it's up to you whether you go with the idea of the pattern or you go with the idea of how the changes have taken place. It's entirely up to you. So the same thing here, we have maf'ulun, and on the pattern of maf'ulun, we should have mabiyun. Why it should be mabiyun? Because look at the root letters. What are the root letters? Ba, ya, ain. You know that, right? So the root letters are ba, ya, ain. And we know that mim and waw, they are extra. Even here, mim and waw are extra. However, they are the part of the construction. Okay, maf'ulan has come, like, where has it come from? What are the root letters?
Fa'ila.
Fa'ala.
Fa'ila, fa'ala. Okay, so we have fa'ilun and maf'ulun. What about nasara? What will be the pattern of nasara?
Mansur.
Mansurun, okay. Daraba,
Madrubun.
madrubun, okay. Sami'a,
Masmu'un.
masmu'un, and fataha,
Maftuhun.
maftuhun. And ba'a will be
Mabiyun.
mabiyun, right? Mabiyun. However, as you know, that the reasons why the Arabs have changed it, or why the changes have taken place, because whenever, as we discussed many times, whenever it is difficult to pronounce, then they always changed it. And these are the changes that we need to know. So it's basically mabiyun, which is difficult to pronounce again. And the first rule is the same. If you remember the first rule, that when ya has dhamma and the letter before it is sakin, then what's going to happen? The same thing that happened in maqulun, the same thing happens
Transfer
over
its.
here. It transfers its haraka to the previous letter. Okay. Okay, now we know that ya is compatible with kasra, right? Ya is the sister of kasra. We know that. So that's why instead of dhamma, it has been replaced with kasra, because it has to be compatible with the letter that it comes with. Ya and kasra are sisters. Okay. So now we can see here that ya is sakin and waw is sakin. Both of them are sakin, right? Now, which one has to be dropped?
The maful waw, the original.
No, we will not drop that. That's what we discussed earlier, that the one which is the part of the root letter, that will be dropped, and the one that is the part of the construction will not be dropped. So what we are going to do, basically, we are going to drop the root letter, which is ya. Okay, when we drop the root letter, then what is left? Kasra and waw. Are kasra and waw compatible?
No, it has to be again
No, they are
transformed
not.
into
They
ya.
are not compatible, yeah. And we know that the sister of kasra is ya. So that's why ya has come back. Or we can say that waw has been changed into ya because of kasra. So that's why it becomes mabiyun. It's a bit, I won't say it's difficult, but I would say that it's something that where we need to practice a little bit more. So how it happened and why it happened, as I would like to explain one more time, that the first change, you are used to it. So the first change shouldn't be something new to you. You are already used to it. That when ya or waw, they have dhamma or they are mutaharrik, and they have sakin before it, they will transfer its haraka to that same letter. And then the second change that has taken place is here, that we have to change the haraka sometimes according to the letter. So it is mabi, and then we have waw, and then we have iltiqa sakinain here. And because of iltiqa sakinain, we have to drop the root letter and not the waw that is a part of the construction. And why it has changed into mabiyun? Because we know that ya and kasra are compatible, and because of that compatibility, that change has taken place and it has changed into mabiyun. So now you can see here ba'a and ism al-maf'ul is mabi'un, zada, and ism al-maf'ul is mazidun, asha, and ism al-maf'ul is ma'ishun. Can you please mute your mics because it's a bit noisy, and if you need to speak, you can switch on your mics, or maybe I can mute all. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Today, alhamdulillah, ajwaf is complete. These are the changes that take place, and we started from the first change. We have seen that 2 changes take place in the past. We have seen that 2 changes take place in the present tense. So those are 4 changes altogether. You need to write them down. What are the 2 changes for past and what are the 2 changes for present? And then 1 change has taken place for ismul fa'il, and 2 changes have taken place for ismul maf'ul. For ismul fa'il, there is only 1 change, that ainul kalima changes into kasra, hamza maksura, I should say. And here in ismul maf'ul, 2 changes have taken place. For ajwaf wawi, it comes on the pattern of maf'ulun, and for ajwaf ya'i, it comes on the pattern of maf'ilun. So these are altogether 7 changes. Yeah. So if you can master these 7 changes, if you can make a brief summary of these changes, if you can write them down, and for yourself and for your brothers and sisters, if you want to share in the group, that will be really helpful. I can do it by myself, but I want you to do something so that you also learn and you also get used to it. And that's why I've decided not to start Naqis today, because if we started today, and then it might be slightly confusing, because we have learned, anyways, we have learned two new rules, or at least 1 new rule, not 2. One is like on the pattern of ilun, that was yesterday, and today we have learned 2 new patterns. One is mafulun and one is mafilun. So these are the 2 new patterns. Even if we learn 1 pattern on a daily basis, that is more than enough. And alhamdulillah, we have learned 2. Okay, now this is the document that I sent you yesterday. Did you have the chance to, or time to go through it? Okay, if not, as we discussed earlier, at least we can discuss it in the classroom or during our sessions, so that you can get used to it. So as you can see here now, everything for you is clear. Al-bab, like which bab it belongs to. Al-madi, the past. Al-mudari, the present. Fi'l al-amr, imperative. And then lam, which is used for negation, for negative in the past, and lan is used for negation in the future. Ismul fa'il, the doer, and ismul maf'ul is the receiver. Okay, now I would like one of you to please read them all, or if not all, 4 or 5 of them, so that we can at least go through at least 1 time with me, so that I'm satisfied that I did my part and the rest is up to you. Yes, please. Qala.
يقول
يقول.
قل
الأمر منه قل.
قل
Okay.
لم يقل
لم يقل.
لن
What will be the
يقول
meaning? Can you please translate it so that it's easier to know what we are talking about? Qala, he said. يقول, he says.
قل
قل, you say. أنت تقول, you say. Mhm.
لم يقل he didn't say.
Excellent.
لن يقول he will not say.
Perfect. قائل, the one who says.
The one who says مقول, the one which is
What has been said? What has been said? Yeah. Okay, so we have قائل and مقول, and you need to know that why مقول will be used in the future. Don't worry about that. So that's why everything that we are learning, that will be used inshallah. If we don't use it in our everyday life, it will definitely be part of our book number 3. So قائل, the one who says, the sayer, and مقول, what has been said. As we say in مقولة in Urdu, we say as well. Yes. Yes, next.
مقول used in Quran, sir, or no?
No, of course not. No. But it's like, it's a very strong part of the construction. as they say that if you say something, there is something, and there has to be qail and there has to be maqul. It is in book number 3 that the sayer has to say something, that the saying never comes alone. So inshallah we will discuss about it in book number 3. Yes, please, Kana.
He was.
Mm-hmm.
Yakuna, he is.
Yakunu, he is or he will be.
He will be.
Okay. Kun, be.
What is the translation of the kun, sir?
Be.
B.
Be. Be.
Lam yakun.
Mm-hmm.
Translation, sir.
It wasn't.
It wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
Lan yakuna.
Mm-hmm.
It
Will not be.
It will not be. Mm-hmm.
Kainun.
Mm-hmm. It's translated as like being, or like the one who makes something happen, the one who makes something take place. Ka'inun.
The one who makes something into a being.
The one who makes something into being, or the one who makes something happen or take place. Ka'inun. And here as I can say that there is ikhtilaf. There are like some of the grammarians, they say that for the verb that is lazim, that doesn't have to have ismul maf'ul. However, there are the others, they say that for every verb there is ismul maf'ul. So if you find somewhere makunun, that is okay. If you don't find makunun, that is also okay. Our sheikh here, he's studied from Egypt, so he goes with the Basriyin. So he decided that it shouldn't be over there. But if you see some other books, you will find makunun as well. So ka'inun and makunun as well. But we know that this is fi'l lazim, or it's naqis, I should say, not even lazim, it's naqis. So that's why it doesn't have. Why do we say it's naqis? Do you remember?
Sir,
It's an incomplete verb because it requires.
It's incomplete verb because it cannot convey the meaning by itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we look at
something like a helping verb, like was.
Yeah, if we look at the category, it is ajwaf. Categorically, it's ajwaf. Yeah, it falls in the category of ajwaf because the middle letter is
empty.
Is weak letter. It's empty. However, if we talk about the family of the verbs, then we will say it belongs to the family of al-af'al al-naqisa, incomplete verbs, and we have kana wa akhawatuha. Kana, and kana has its own sisters.
That requires
Which we have, yeah, it cannot convey the meaning by itself. For example, look at here. Kana, he was what? So kana mudarrisan, he was a teacher. Kana shurtiyan, he was a policeman. Kana maridan, he was sick. Then there has to be something being added to it. So that's why it is called naqis, that kana and the sisters of kana, they cannot communicate the meaning by themselves. That's why they are used with al-jumlatul ismiya, and then it becomes the part of the sentence, and we say ismu kana and khabaru kana. So when we say kana maridan, so ismu kana will be he inside it, and maridan will be khabaru kana. And we please remember that khabaru kana is always mansub. Do you remember the example? Kana Allahu aliman hakiman.
Hakima.
Or hakima, yeah, when we stop. So that is the example of kana. Kana Allahu aliman hakima. And if you remember the example of inna Allaha ghafur. Yeah, or inna Allaha ghafurur rahim, because when we say inna, then inna will attack, or inna comes or makes mansub to the noun that comes right after it. Inna Allaha. So it makes it mansub. Whereas kana does not say anything to the noun that comes close to it. It will always attack the noun that comes after it, which is the khabar. So it is kana Allahu aliman hakima. So kana doesn't say anything to the noun, to the mubtada. It will say something to the khabar, and the khabar will be mansub. Whereas when we say inna, then ismu inna we know will be mansub, and khabaru inna will be always marfu'. All right. What about qama? Qama, he got up.
yes.
Yes, please. Anyone here? Yaqumu, he gets up. Lam yakum, qum, you get up. Lam yakum, he didn't get up. Lan yaquma, he will not get up. Qa'imun, the one who gets up, and maqumun, the one who has been made to get up. So qa'imun could be standing, and maqumun could be the one who has been made to sit. Okay, then we have Zara, and from Zara we have Yazuru, and fi'l al-amr is Zur. Lam yazur, lan yazura, and ism al-fa'il will be Za'irun, and ism al-maf'ul will be on the pattern of. If you remember the pattern, what is the pattern? Maf'ulun, so it will be Mazurun. Similarly, we have Dhaqa, Yadhuqu, fi'l al-amr is
So
Dhuq,
Mazurun will be the place which is visited.
being visited, that's right, or the person that has been visited as well.
Okay.
And Lam Yadhuq, he didn't taste. Lan Yadhuqa, he will never taste. And Dha'iqun ism al-fa'il, and Madhuqun is ism al-maf'ul on the pattern of maf'ulun. Similarly, we have Tafa Yatufu, and fi'l al-amr is Tuf, Lam Yatuf, Lan Yatufa, Ta'ifun, and Matufun. Ta'ifun, what will be the feminine of Ta'ifun?
Ta'ifatun.
Ta'ifatun. Does it have any other? Ta'ifatun also means a group. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and it comes Ta'ifatani.
Ta'ifatani, yeah. Yes. So it also means group as well. Party or group or party. Then we have Sama Yasumu Sum, Lam Yasum and Lan Yasuma, Sa'imun and Masumun, and Sa'imatun and Masumatun. So you have to make the feminine adding ta marbuta. Qa'ilatun and maqulatun, qa'imatun and maqumatun, za'iratun and mazuratun, dha'iqatun and maduqatun, ta'ifatun and matufatun, sa'imatun and masumatun. And then you can also make the dual, and you can also make the plural as well. And the next one is taba, and from taba it is yatubu, tub, it's fi'l al-amr, lam yatub, and then lan yatuba and ta'ibun. And if you want to make ism al-maf'ul, it will be matubun, matubun. Then we focus on ajwaf, ja'a, yaji'u, ji', fi'l al-amr is ji', and lam yaji', lan yaji'a, ja'in, and it is on the pattern of mafilun, it is maji'un, maji'un, coming, or the one that has come, or that the one that has been visited. Ja'in, who visits or who comes, and maji'in has been, maji'un, that has been visited or that has been. So qabla maji', before I come to you. Hal attasilu bika qabla maji'i, should I call you before I come to you? So maji'un, as also you should know that it is also used as the masdar of ja'a yaji'u. Maji'un, coming as well. I sent you all the information, you have it. You know, it's up to you to memorize it, to go through it. It's entirely up to you. Ba'a, yabi'u, bi'. What's going on? Okay, then we have ba'a, yabi'u, bi', lam yabi', lan yabi'a, ba'i'un and mabi'un. So we are focusing on the pattern of mafilun, mabi'un. Sara yasiru, sir, yasir, lam yasir, lan yasira, sa'irun and masirun. Sa'iratun and masiratun. Masiratun is also used for the CV or the curriculum vitae, or the whatever you have done in your life. That is called masirun. Hadihi masirati. This is a summary of my life, whatever I have done in my life. So masiratun will be, it is used for the CV. Aisha ya'ishu, fi'l al-amr is ish, lam ya'ish, lan ya'isha, aishun and ma'ishun, aishatun and ma'ishatun. Ma'ishatun danka, if you remember that. Ghaba yaghibu, ghib, and then we have lam yaghib, lan yaghiba, ghaibun and maghibun, ghaibatun and maghibatun. And then we have kala yakilu, and fi'l al-amr is kil. Lam yakil, lan yakila, ka'ilun and makilun, and ka'ilatun and makilatun. Zada yazidu, zid, and what about zid? Do you remember any dua or any verse of the Quran?
Rabbi zidni ilma.
Zidni or zidna ilman. Excellent. So this is, here it is, fi'l al-amr. Lam yazid and lan yazida, za'idun and mazidun. Za'idun, and the feminine will be za'idatun. and mazidun will be mazidatun. And then we have nama yanamu, and now we have come on to the pattern of samia yasmau, nama yanamu, and fi'l al-amr is nam, lam yanam, lan yanama, na'imun or na'imatun, manumun and manumatun. Khafa yakhafu khaf, and then we have lam yakhaf, lan yakhafa, khaifun or khaifatun, and makhufun and makhufatun. Then
So
we
what
have,
does manumun mean?
the bed where we sleep.
Okay.
So the
So this can also, this maful can also act as zarf makan also, is that sometimes?
it could be, yeah, there is a possibility. It could be zarf. However, it doesn't follow the pattern, or when we reach there, because we are not discussing about the zarf. But as you know that the weak verbs, the patterns will be changed for everything. Yani ismul fa'il, ismul maf'ul, ismul ala, ismul zarf zaman, zarf makan. They will change. So inshallah, that's why I'm taking you slowly but surely, step by step. So manuman will be used, it is used for the bed, the place where we sleep.
So,
when we
so
say-
can we say that for fail lazim, if there's a noun maf'ul, it will usually be a zarf, or it will usually be a place?
Most likely, that's right, yeah. That makes sense, honestly speaking. And to be honest, Yani, I never focused on that, for example, because I was just leaving it up to when we reached to Ismul Ala and when we reached to Zarf. So that's why I never noticed about that, but it makes sense, as you said. From Fi'l Lazim, yeah, it could be both. It could be Ismul Maf'ul.
Yes,
and
it also
could be
comes on the
also-
same scale as
Same
well.
scale, yeah. Also, it would be Zarf as well. Excellent. Now, mashallah, you are exploring many things. Okay, and then we have kada, and from kada, yakadu, kad, lam yakad, lan yakada, kaidun, and makudun. And then we have zala yazalu, as we know that zala yazalu, normally they don't come by themselves. The past comes with ma zala,
Mazala,
and the present
la
comes with la
yazalu.
yazalu. And kada also, you know, that is also a special verb that it also
Followed by a
comes,
present tense verb.
it is always, it also has a mubtada and khabar, and the khabar will be always present tense. Okay, yazalu and zal is fi'l al-amr, lam yazal, lan yazala, za'ilun and mazulun. So sha'a is the last one.
Ustad,
Yes.
Can you give that translation for this one, Zala, please? Zala is
he stopped, or
We
he
should say
ceased.
Mazala and say he ceased, or we should just say Zala.
No,
and
he
say-
didn't cease. Mazala, he didn't cease.
That's for continuation.
That
La
continuation,
yazalu and
yeah.
ma
He
zalu.
did, okay.
Yeah. So when you add negative to that, ma and la, that means it continued. It never stopped.
Then it should be Ma. Okay.
Ma zala, it continues. La yazalu, it still continues.
Zil is continue. Just command.
Zal is
Zal, yeah, Zal
Mhm.
continue.
Mhm.
Yazal
Lam yazal, it didn't continue. Lan yazala, it will not continue.
continue. Okay.
Za'ilun, the one who seizes someone to do something, they're like the one who stops someone to happen something.
Okay.
And mazulun is something that has been seized, that has
Stopped,
been
okay.
stopped
Stop.
from
Okay.
happening. Excellent. Then we have sha'a, yasha'u. Fi'l al-amr is sha', as you can see here, because the changes we have already discussed. Lam yasha', he didn't wish or he didn't want. Lan yasha'a, he will not want. And sha'in is the one who wants. And as you can see here, there is no ismul maf'ul for that as well. So if there is not there, we don't really need to make it forcefully. Okay, sha'a, do you remember the masdar of sha'a?
Sha'in.
Masdar. I know I sent you only one document, and really I wanted you to focus on that, memorize that, go through that, because that document itself is something like, it has lots of information. So give me just 2 minutes and then we close our class. As you can see here, can you see the new document, which is about the vocabulary?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so if you see this document, as you can see here, we have qala yaqulu qawlan. And if it is qala yaqilu, then it will be qaylulatan. I told you yesterday. But the most common is qala, but both of them have been used in the Quran. قال يقول قولا and قال يقيل قيلولة. Both of them in both forms have been used in the Quran. كان يكون كونا. زار يزور زيارة. Okay, so ziyara, now you know that it means to visiting or to visit. قام يقوم قياما. قياما is also the plural of قائم. So qiyaman is masdar, and also it is used sujjadan wa qiyama. It is also used as plural as well. ذاق يذوق, it has two, it has masdarain, ذوقا and madaqan. Okay, one more thing that you need to note down. You will find it somewhere and you might be slightly confused or slightly disturbed. This one is called al-masdar al-mimi. Al-masdar al-mimi because it starts with the meme. So if a verb has a masdar and the masdar starts with meme, what do we call it?
Masdar mimi.
Al-masdaru al-mimi or masdarun mimiyun, the masdar that starts with meme. So please note it down because you will somehow find it in the books of Nahw Sarf, and then you will say like, what is it? We haven't read about it. So this is called masdar al-mimi. Tafa yatufu tawafan. Tawafan, as we know, we use it a lot. Sara yasiru sayran. Asha yaishu aishan. Ba'a yabiyu bay'an. Nama yanumu nauman. From naum, yeah. And now khafa yakhafu, it has also khawfan, and also it has masdar mimi.
But the masdar meme always comes with a fathah, no Ustad?
Yes, that's right. So makhafatullah, fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, and then we have bala yabulu bawlan. Yaji'u, as I told you, maji'un. So yeah, maji'an. So maji'an is used both, it is used as ism al-maf'ul, and it is also the pattern of al-masdar.
Masdar meme.
Shukran li maji'ikum. Thanks for coming. So li maji'ikum, for coming, that means we are using it as a masdar because we know that masdar is translated as ing.
Continue.
So yeah,
it has reference to time and
yeah, thanks for coming. Yeah, shukran li maji'ikum. Thanks for coming.
Infinite.
Okay, la yazalu yadrusu, he is still studying. Yes, is there any question?
No, I just said then sha will be sha yashau. Mashiyatan.
Yeah, it has two as well.
Mashi'an.
Yes, la mashi'atan.
Okay.
So la yazalu yadrusu, he is still studying. So it shows that you didn't go through this document, maybe.
Yes.
Kadhaba yakdhibu kadhiban, to lie. And these documents are really helpful. Please go through and memorize everything. If you don't memorize the masadir, you will suffer a lot. I'm telling you from now, because the present and the past, you are used to it. But if you are not used to masdar, in book number 3, it will keep on piling up, and there are 35 patterns of masdar, not 1, 2, 35. So I'm not scaring you, but I'm telling you that from now we need to be ready about it. And it always changes. For mazid fi forms, it's fixed. But for trilateral verbs, the verbs that have 3 root letters, it always changes. And you can see how many different patterns are there. You have seen so many different patterns, and that's where you need to focus on. For example, here, ghalaba yaghlibu ghalabatan, to overcome. And sama yasumu sawman wa siyaman. Siyaman is also the plural of sa'imun. It is also the plural of sa'imun, siyaman. Dara yaduru dawran. Dawran is also used for turn. Dawruka hada, this turn of your, or this is your turn. Hada dawruka. So it is also used for the turn, like we take turns when we do something. Taba yatubu tawbatan, and kala yakilu kailan, to measure. Sha'a.
Dar also means a house also, no Ustad?
That is dar. This is daur. Dauran.
Okay, dar. Okay.
Yeah, so we have zala, yazalu, zawlan, and do we have any other verb? Kada yakadu, it has kaidan, and kaidan, it has 2 masadir as well. Kaidan is also one of it. It's not written over here. And what about sha'a? Sha'a has 2, it has masdarain. It has shay'un, and also mashi'atun. Shay'un wa mashi'atun. بمشيئة الله تعالى إن شاء الله بمشيئة الله تعالى نبدأ الدرس الجديد غدا إن شاء الله. So شاء has two, which is what are those? Shay'un, and shay'un is used a lot in everyday life, and also in the Quran. And
Shayun Azim.
yeah, and then also it is used if you are at the airport. بمشيئة ta'ala, you have heard about the announcement. They make this announcement a lot, so that it means by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we will travel from this. So inshallah,
Especially when we sit in the aircraft, they start with this one. We will.
yes. So inshallah, بمشيئة الله تعالى نبدأ الدرس الجديد غدا inshallah. So that's it. Please, whenever I send you anything, try to go through it. You will benefit a lot. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Walaikum salam.
Walaikum
And,
assalam.
can I post this thing
Jazakallah.
that
Wayakum.
Dia and this one which I have learned from one of the surf books, so that you can see that, Ustad, in the group, or I should send you personally?
Lala, in the group, it's better.
Okay,
Please,
sir.
whatever you are doing, share it in the group. It's for everyone. So everyone knows
Okay.
that someone is doing something.
Okay.
All right. So tomorrow, inshallah, we start with Naqis, inshallah.
Inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Jazakallah khairan kaseeran.
Wayakum.